Hey, do you hear that? That's the sound of Seattle's first rain in 2 weeks.
That can be a harrowing drive
Yeah.
over 520 or I-90 when the water is whipping up.
Yeah, we call that a white knuckle drive,
Yeah.
and you got to hold on tight to the steering wheel. Yes, indeed, this is a classic windstorm for western Washington today, making driving difficult, but also the ferry runs. Check out the scene from the ferry in between Orcas Island and Anacortes. Hey, current temperatures show 90s. Chicago, Detroit. This is an area that will be seeing an extended heat wave in the days to come as that jet stream buckles far north, allowing this unusually warm air to drift into the Midwest and the Great Lakes. Many backyards are seeing snow outside their window, and it is just peacefully calm. And that's the beauty of freshly fallen snow. It's able to absorb any sound waves, and it makes it very calm and peaceful outside, despite the treacherous drive that many have ahead of them today.
Face mask is pulling double duty today because we have very unhealthy air quality in Seattle. It is due to all the smoke surrounding all of western Washington. Visibility is reduced, and we even have denser smoke on the way.
Now, Kristin, what can we expect as this hits land?
You know, Kelly, Zeta is now the strongest hurricane this west in the Gulf of Mexico this late in the season. So here we go again, Louisiana bearing the brunt of this hurricane that has signs of strengthening just prior to landfall. But we are not accustomed to triple-digit heat, but that is what we will see here as this unusually strong high pressure begins to slowly drift north into BC, Canada. That is an unusual spot to see this freakishly strong high pressure, the likes of which we've actually never seen before in our historical records. So we are kind of in uncharted territory the next couple of days here. So we have that sinking motion of air, first and foremost, underneath the high. As the air sinks, it compresses, and it warms up as it does so. That's one ingredient. The second ingredient is that easterly breeze that descends the western slopes of the Cascades and warms even further. Third ingredient is that we're tapping into that desert southwest heat as well, drifting in from the southeast, riding up the west coast, and right into western Washington. And what that does is gives us temperatures like this: 99 Saturday, 104 Sunday, 110 on Monday. 110 Monday. I'm going to repeat that. That is a possibility. Could we get that hot? Remains to be seen here. We've never been that hot ever in the history. Seattle, hottest ever, 103. We can best that Sunday alone. The date, but I tell you what, today's going to be a very changeable day of weather, from record high temperatures to potential for seeing snowflakes flying by the end of today. Yeah, it's all in a day's work here in western Washington. 57 degrees, there it is. That has exceeded the record of 56 for today's date. South wind, the reason for all this warmth now spilling into Puget Sound. The barometer is falling as we get the latest storm to roll on in here today. This is the next weather maker. The warm front associated with this storm has now lifted north of Seattle. It's pretty much in between Seattle and Oak Harbor. It's right over Everett. So areas south of this warm front have been very mild, well into the 50s, with a strengthening south wind out ahead of this sharp cold front that eventually swings right on through western Washington. And what's to follow is a big slug of cold air rotating counterclockwise around that low, spilling into Puget Sound, such that we could start to see a bit of this rain change over to a rain-snow mix and maybe all snow for a time this afternoon. So that changeover has already started along Washington's north coast, getting reports of a rain-snow mix. Port Angeles along Highway 101, as well as Bellingham, Ferndale, parts of western central Whatcom County, reports of those big fat wet snowflakes falling amongst the rain, and also Port Townsend, more of the same. So this has already started in parts of the northwest interior, keeping a close eye on Squim, another area that could potentially see some of those flakes flying momentarily. The timing of which in Puget Sound may be after 3 o'clock this afternoon. So let's see it here on Futurecast. This is basically what the radar could look like early in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. And there's going to be a band of pretty steady rain here, big puddle potential, and not to mention a landslide risk. There's a very low landslide risk, but still, this is like the 9th consecutive day of a good soaking rain here in western Washington. In any case, by 3 o'clock, noticing more of the blue popping up. This is more of an indication that we start to see that wet snow mix in near Whatcom, Skagit County, and very much beginning in parts of Snohomish County. I would argue anywhere from Port Townsend through, say, Coopville, right on into Everett. This is an area that could momentarily see some wet snow by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then going forward, by 4 o'clock, we start to see the King County foothills get in on the action, specifically Issaquah, North Bend, the Cougar, Tiger Mountain area could start to see some of that snow at the higher hilltops. And this is 5 o'clock. Now, this is interesting. There is a convergence zone that is being shown to develop right near Seattle. And I would argue that this shade of green, while it does indicate rain here on Futurecast, there might be some wet snow seen flying around Seattle by 5 o'clock this evening. Very little, if any, accumulation for downtown. But once you go to the east side, Bellevue, along Interstate 90 into, say, North Bend, those are the areas that might pick up on a slushy inch of accumulation, primarily on the grassy surfaces. I want to stress that the ground is so warm. Obviously, we've had record temperatures so far today that a lot of the snow is going to melt instantly on contact with the pavement. But the reduction in visibility is what's concerning with any burst of heavy snow that we do see develop. So let's see how much we can track here. Issaquah, Sammamish, Falls City, North Bend. I think a 1 to 2 inch snowfall looks pretty good. Very little, if any, once you go toward Renton, Seattle. But we might see some snowflakes, but no accumulation expected for Everett. But you go into Lake Stevens, Monroe area. These are the areas that could see a quick dusting on the rooftops. Again, the grassy elevated surfaces and a better potential for Whatcom, Skagit counties. Some of those mountainous areas, the valleys, Kendall, for example, Peaceful Valley, maybe a slushy few inches, and keeping a very close eye on Port Angeles, Squim. That cold north wind has already started. And whenever we see that happen in this particular area, we can start to see the snowfall really ramp up. So maybe a couple inches of slush there, but nothing here for South Sound and the Southwest Interior. Bare ground here for the holiday week. But we're looking at the lowland snow chance. Okay, this is where we do have the concern for low visibility with any quick burst of wet snow. Roads remain primarily wet, but our foothills here of the Cascades, don't be surprised to maybe see a quick slushy inch, especially on your front yard there. All right, Futurecast winds over 40 to potentially up to 50 along the Pacific coast. We could see winds in and around Puget Sound topping 40 before gradually subsiding by 4 or 5 o'clock tonight once the front swings on east of our area. But look at the weather. Hey, in the days leading up to the holiday here this week, nice, quiet Tuesday, Wednesday, and Christmas Eve for Santa to arrive. But Friday, Christmas Day, we're back to the showers. Oh, there he is, yep. And then holiday this weekend, weather looks a bit cloudy with lingering showers, Holly, Saturday and Sunday.
All right, this all seems fitting for the first day of winter.
Yes, here we go. Daylight getting longer from here on out. That's the good news.
All right, let's take it.